y'all, welcome back to Classy and Sassy. If you have been rocking with me for a while, you know I really try to show up consistently. But unfortunately, life has a way of reminding you that you are not always in control, no matter how organized or prepared you think you are. The past few weeks have been a lot for me personally. And sometimes you don't realize just how much emotional bandwidth something takes until you're right in the middle of it. And I think sometimes we consume content and forget there's a real person behind the mic living real life too. So today's episode is Real Life Check-In. We're talking navigated unexpected stress, who really shows up when life gets hard, what's been getting me through, and of course, as always, I'll share what I'm watching or reading while life was definitely lifing. So grab your coffee, your tea, or your wine, I don't judge, and let's talk. The past few weeks have truly been a whirlwind. In the same week, I had a daughter get into a car accident. We're talking 4-car accident. I also welcomed my first grandchild into the world. And let me tell you, that alone is a lot to process emotionally without adding anything else. On top of that, my grandchild spent almost the first month of life with us. And there is nothing, I mean nothing, that reminds you how old, grown you are, like caring for a newborn 24/7. I am someone who thrives on schedules and routines. And all of that goes completely out the window when you have a tiny human dictating every hour of your day. Between the lack of sleep, the mental exhaustion, the tasks piling up, and simply feeling like your goals are just sitting there waiting on you, it can really throw you off emotionally. There's also this emotional whiplash that happens, going from calm to crisis mode, making constant decisions, and feeling like your brain never fully shuts off. And physically, stress shows up too. The exhaustion, the lack of focus, the feeling like you're tired when you haven't even done anything physical yet. I think the biggest realization for me was recognizing just how high my stress level had gotten and admitting that I couldn't just push through like everything's perfectly normal. Sometimes you have to let things go temporarily and just accept that your rhythm has changed. Because when your normal routine disappears, life can feel unstable, and that's completely normal. And emotional fatigue, it deserves the same care and attention we give physical illness, even though we don't always treat it that way. Now let's talk about who shows up when your life gets hard. It's always interesting to see who checks on you when your life is complete turmoil. Because some people will surprise you in the best way, and others, unfortunately, they'll behave exactly how you expected them to. When you're already emotionally drained, it can feel very eye-opening to realize how self-focused people can be, or how quickly some people lead with excuses before you've even asked them for anything. Almost like they're preparing their defense just in case you might need support from them. And in those moments, you really start to reevaluate your circle. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to make announcements or cut people off dramatically, but you do start to recognize who may have completed their season in your story and who may have been promoted to a different role in your life. You also start to notice the difference between genuine check-ins and surface level effort. There's a big difference between someone who truly wants to know how you're doing and someone who just wants to be able to say they reached out. And when your emotional energy is low, you realize just how precious your time and energy really are. Sometimes your peace and protecting your peace means accepting people where they are and adjusting your expectations accordingly. It may mean giving less energy to people who give minimal effort and focusing more on the relationships that truly feel supportive and reciprocal. Because hard times don't just test you, they reveal your circle. But looking at something a little bit lighter, while life was definitely kicking my butt, I still found time for a little mindless TV, for my sanity, because sometimes you just need something that doesn't require emotional energy. Love is Blind is back, and let's just say, I think they may be losing the plot a little bit. For a show that's designed to prove love can be built without seeing someone, this season, it's interesting how very quickly people change their tune once they see what their partner looks like. Between people second-guessing their choices, or the ones wishing they picked someone else, it's been a mess. And do not even get me started on the guy who told an absolutely amazing woman he wasn't into her because she doesn't work out every day, and that's the kind of women he likes. Now, keep in mind, this woman is extremely fit and a doctor who is probably working a lot and does not have time to do Pilates daily as he claims his previous women do. My question, sir, in what universe are you ever going to pull a hot doctor again? And I think a lot of viewers were frustrated about the couple that, for whatever reason, got excluded from the honeymoon trip, with the show claiming it was budget related. Because honestly, it felt more like they just didn't have enough drama, so they didn't want to film them. Because they seem to be the only couple that may actually make it. I've also been watching The Lincoln Lawyer, which is back with a new season. If you watched last season, you know we ended on a major cliffhanger with Mickey. So this season really dives into the fallout from that situation. It's still a solid show, but I definitely found myself wanting just a little more. Because primarily this season is all mostly focused on the trial and fallout from him obviously being framed. Now, while I know the show is based on a book series, oddly enough, I have not felt motivated to pick up the books, which is rare for me. Sometimes healing, honestly, looks like binge watching something with zero emotional investment. And of course, I've still been reading, even though I'm definitely extremely behind on my reading goals this year already. But I recently got some advanced copies that I'm really excited about diving into. I got the new Frida McFadden book that comes out, I think it comes out next month, called Want to Know a Secret, that looks very promising. If you're a Frida fan, you know her books are quick, twisty reads that help you get through your reading goals a lot faster. And surprisingly, the publisher for Joshua Moling sent me an advanced copy of Beneath a Broken Sky, which will release in May. It features his Detective Ben Packard series, which is one I absolutely devoured last year. So getting that was such a nice little surprise. When life feels chaotic, reading really does ground me. It gives my mind somewhere else to go, and it helps me reset so I can just move forward with a little more clarity. If there is one thing this season has reminded me, it's that life doesn't always give you a warning before it shifts priorities. But I've learned that slowing down isn't quitting, resting isn't failing, and giving yourself grace is not weakness, it's wisdom. I've also been reminded to truly appreciate the people who show up with love, patience, and understanding. Because those are the relationships that really matter. So if you're going through a tough season right now, just know you're allowed to pause, regroup, and take care of yourself without guilt. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll talk to you all next week. Just remember, you can survive hard lessons without losing yourself. And sometimes, you may actually find yourself in the process. It's always a possibility.